Good audio. Yeah. So, good afternoon, friends. Today we are here again with new aspects for learning. Friends, as we know, the entire universe has got the limitations of its own process phenomena we see every day around us or within our life also, and the changes that we see, they are only the representative of basic configuration and different alignment that keeps on going. Elemental limitations that we have learned from the periodic table that it may be around 108 elements, and all these 8 elements are the constituents part for the earth planet, and then also constituent part for our life. And for our life, we feel that this component is very important, uh, and we can call ourselves to be the mini representative or miniature form of the universe. Every life have got a miniature form of the universe. This realignment, several elements and of the many elements which are in the form of animals. All these aspects give you and brought within us the vastness and infinite number of the medicinal substance. And it is very difficult most of the time while we are selecting and trying to select the medicines for an individual person. And out of those thousands and thousands of the medicines, we have to select only one. And one of the difficult fact is that many of the remedies have got the similar representations. So, how to study these medicines and how so that it can become more available with us. So, several attempts are being made. There are many similarities, there are many dissimilarities among each of the medicines. And on the basis of this similarity, we are grouping the medicines in one group or the other groups. And for making the uh, type of the groups, we have to decide certain criteria on which basis the medicines has to be grouped. Like we have grouped the medicines into the plant kingdom, into the animal kingdom, and the mineral kingdom. Again, going beyond that, we can have among the mineral kingdoms there are the inorganic metals, the inorganic substance, and the organic substance, and among the plant kingdom also several families of the plants groups are there. So, and when we see within one element also, the compound, the formats of the compound are varied. Like in carbon group, we have the carbovegetabilis, we have the carboenamylis, and the carbonates, all the carbonates, they also have got the basis of the carbon. So what we see, there are some carbon copy. I say that usually in our day-to-day life, it is the carbon copy. Carbon copy means the things which is similar, but there are some different. Photocopy and carbon copy are different. Carbon copy have got the similarity, but there are slight variations in the different aspects. But the photocopy, there are exactly the same. So the carbon group that have tried to select, selected for the today's presentations, it has got the carbon of the variety medicines that has been listed within our homeopathic system of the medicines. And studying this basis, the purpose of studying this group or whatever group you study, it is that to find out that some similarity must be existing because of the carbon. And there are the dissimilarity among them because of their other components, carbon other components. So, and this will make our understanding more easier for grasping and finding out the minute differentiation between each of the medicines while we are selecting. Yes, repertory has got a good service for us, and we can arrive at a group of the medicines. But finding out of the groups, we have to go into the finer details, and that depends on our understanding about the medicines. It is rightly said that repertory helps us in indicating a medicines, but the final decision lies in the individual study of the medicines. So we cannot read so many medicines for one patient at a time, every time, but we can read few of the medicines among them. And with this understanding, medicine in homeopathy, the medicines are studied on a group basis. For today's topics, as an example features, I am presenting before you the carbon group of the homeopathic medicines. Carbon groups have got the diversity, and you see the carbon, it ranges from the coal to the diamond. And in the purity, in the most pure form, it is diamond, and in the most black form, it is the coal. So coal and diamond, the whole of the carbon group is divided between the coal and the diamond. And we have medicines scattered in between them. We have the scattered medicines. Wide range of the medicines are there among this coal and the diamond. Then carbon lies at the heart of the evolutions. See, where you see the carbon, every part of the life, every aspect of the life, every substance that we have in the food, and every protein, carbohydrate, or fat, they constitute the base element, and the structure part belongs to the carbon. So that's why I say the carbon is the structural part of our life. It represents the structural part of the life, because carbon is at the base, where oxygen, hydrogen, and other elements get combined to form a constituent. So everywhere we see the carbon. So that's why we say the carbon is at the heart of the evolution. We have been evolved. The life is ever changing, and this changing process is very important for understanding. So choreographing the emergence of the planet, life, and us, and more than any other ingredient. Carbon has facilitated the rapid emergence of new technology, from steam engine of the industrial revolutions to our modern plastic age. And even at this accelerations, the unprecedented changes in environment and climate on the planetary scale. So everywhere the carbon, carbon, carbon. So we say we are surrounded and we are made of the carbon, and we are born with the carbon and will perish into the carbon. So carbon, it has got no limitation. It is within our life, and it is after our life also. Friends, carbon is the giver of the life. It has given you the life. It has given you the skin. It has provided you the air, blood, and everything. Right from your needs, daily needs, to your understanding also, and they all depend on the carbon, because everything surrounds around the carbon. Friends, carbon is the essence, chemical essence. We say that it's a chemical essence of life, where you see everywhere: bark, leaf, root, flower, fruits and nuts, pollen and nectar, bees and the butterfly and what not. Doberman and dinosaur all incorporate essential carbon. And every cell in the body, indeed, every part of the living, every cell relies on the sturdy backbone of the carbon. Backbone of the carbon. It is the backbone for your life. So carbon of the mother's milk becomes the carbon of a child beating heart. Then carbon is the chemical essence of lover's eye, hand, lips and brain. With breath exhale carbon, with every kisses carbon atom embraces. So where is no carbon? Can you imagine your life without the carbon? I feel there is no emotions, nothing will be there when the carbon is not there. So God has been so much kind enough to send and leave with the carbon, although we see that carbon is black. Yes, what do you mean by the black? The blackness includes all color of the light. Blackness has got all color of the light and all essence of the light. When you mix the 7 rainbows, color of the rainbow, the ultimate end is in the black. And blackness is the essence of our life. And it is so beautiful that within the blackness, you see the beauty of the life. We cannot expect the beauty and the smiles and the emotions in our life if we don't have the color of everything. So we say the synthesized and incorporated color originates from this blackness of the carbon. So it is carbo or coal, Latin word carbo, coal. It is the 6th element of the periodic table. Carbon is a chemical element which is called C and atomic number C. It is non-metallic and tetravalent, marking 4 electrons available to form covalent chemical bonds. So each carbon has got the 4 valency, and this 4 valency, that means it is open everywhere. It is open everywhere, and there are 3 isotopes occur naturally, 12C and 30C being the stable, while 14C is a radioactive isotopes decaying with a half-life of about 5,730 years. Carbon is one of the few elements known since antiquity. When we started knowing the carbon as a primitive man, the day we learned how to burn and make fire, we got the blackness of the carbon, the charcoals that was produced, and whenever the burn came, the charcoal was there. So, and this charcoal has been used widely in our life. It has been right from the toothpaste and to cooking your food, everywhere this charcoal is important. So, from beauty to the beast, I say the carbon represents from the beauty and the beast. Friends, it is the fourth most abundant element on the universe, and it is 15th most abundant element on the earth's crust and 4th most abundant element in the universe by mass after the hydrogen, helium and oxygen. The greatest friend of the carbon are the hydrogen, helium and the oxygen. Oxygen combines to form the carbon dioxide, and oxygen is the life giver, and hydrogen makes you the water. So oxygen and water are essential part, and they are combined with the carbon to give you the feeling of the life, the essence of the life. So carbon abundance, its unique diversity of organic compound and its unusual ability to form polymers at a temperature commonly encountered on Earth enables this element to serve as a common element of all known life. Common element for all known life. It is the second most abundant element in the human body by mass, about 18.5% after the oxygen. See how much blackness is there within your life. And you are known with the structural part of the carbon, and from your life get originated, and you emerge as a unique personality on this earth. So this understanding is important for all of us. And carbon is stabilized in various atomic structure. It has got several atomic allotropes. Atomic carbon is very short-lived, specific, and therefore carbon is stabilized in various multi-atomic structures with different molecular configurations, and they are known as the isotopes or allotropes. The three related well-known allotropes of the carbon are amorphous carbon, graphites, and the diamond. Once considered exotic fullerenes are now commonly synthesized and used in the research. Today we have started manufacturing the diamond, manufacturing the graphites. They include buckyballs, carbon nanotubes, carbon nanobirds, and nanofibers. Several other exotic allotropes have also been discovered, such as lancedaleite, questionable glassy carbon, carbon nanoform, and linear acetylenic carbine. So the life on this earth would not be possible without carbon. You see the ocean, and you see the photosynthesis, respiration, decomposition, and then gas exchange, plants, atmosphere, soil, all these are everywhere it is there. Carbon's ability is to readily form bonds with other atoms, giving flexibility to the form and functions that biomolecules can take, such as DNA and RNA, which are essential for the defining characteristics of life, growth, and replication. So it is the ability, that bond, that connectivity, and carbon has got so friendly for us that it can get associated with everything. Everything, every element can come in closeness with the carbon. So it is open-hearted part aspect of the life. So carbon, because it has got the heart, it is make you the possible to have the life. Life without heart, it cannot be understood and cannot be experienced by anyone. And carbon is in a rotating form. It is there in the atmosphere, it is there in the vegetations, it is there in the soil, it is there marine biodata, rivers, your fossils, fuels, storage, and what not. Under terrestrial conditions, conversion of one element to another is very rare. Therefore, the amount of carbon on Earth is effectively constant. Thus, processes that use carbon must obtain it from somewhere and dispose of it somewhere else. The paths of the carbon in the environment forms the carbon cycle. So it is to your stomach, to your body, to cells, and again it is a cycle. It keeps on going. Photosynthetic plants draw carbon dioxide from the atmosphere or seawater and build it into the biomass as the Calvin cycle, a process of carbon fixation. Friends, carbon was discovered in prehistoric and was known in the form of soot, that the ash and the charcoal of the earliest human civilizations. And diamond were known probably as early as 2500 BCE in China. The periodic table, you see the position of the periodic table. This stand is in the sixth position after the hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, and then the carbon. It has got the 12.011 atomic weight. And of all periodic table richly varied densions, carbon, the sixth element, is the unique in its impact on our life. So many elements are there, but our life is being observed only because of the carbon. So carbon, oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, 96%, and sodium, potassium, calcium, zinc, 4%. So see the major part, if you consider the majority there, oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen, and sodium, potassium, calcium, and zinc, it constitutes only 4%. Friends, the element of the life, just I have told about you, the hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, and the phosphorus. So they have got the basic part for our life. The element carbon is not found in the pure form in the human body, but rather in compounds within the body. Carbon is the basic building block required to form protein, carbohydrate, and fats, and it plays a crucial role in regulating the physiology of the body. Our physiological functions, the structural part, it has got the activity through the known from the physiology. And the mental ability, the mental physiology and the physical physiology, both have got the dominating role for the carbon, dominating role. So it is the motivator, it is giving you the place to survive. So your nativity of the life depends on your existence, depends on because you have the carbon within your life. This aspect of the carbon dioxide toxicity, it can be understood with the main symptoms of the carbon dioxide toxicity. What it do when this is poisonous for our life. Visual dimmed sight, drowsiness, mild necrosis, dizziness, confusion, headache, unconsciousness, auditory. So the body takes the oxygen, get combined with the carbon, and carbon dioxide is produced, and it has to be eliminated. So this is the cycle of the external carbon and the internal carbon getting mixed with the oxygen and getting so oxidations and deoxidation process are the continuous part that takes place as a metabolic process in our life. So respiratory shortness, short of breath, muscular tremor, skin sweating, and increased heart rates and blood pressures are the important phenomena that you can see with the carbon dioxide toxicity because of the carbon's presence. Because the opposite aspect of it is that the balance with the individual carbon, it must have to remain pure with the associate with it, and that will give you the better vision of the life, better hearing ability, and better central nervous system and stability. Then carbon footprint is historically defined as the total set of greenhouse gas emission caused by an individual event organization's product expressed as carbon dioxide equivalent. The concept name of the carbon footprint originates from ecological footprint discussions which was developed by Reed and Rectangle in the year 1990s, which estimates the number of Earth that would theoretically be required everyone in the planet consumed resources at the same level as the persons calculating the ecological footprint. No element is more essential to life than carbon, because only carbon forms a strong single bond to itself that are stable enough to resist chemical attack under ambient conditions. This gives carbon the ability to form long chain or ring of atom, which are the structural basis for many compounds that comprise the living cells, of which the most important is the DNA. No element is more essential than to life than the carbon. So it is the basic constituent that is more important for us. So you see how much importance the carbon is, and how much greatness and what type of the illness you can have. You just can imagine with the presence of this carbon. The basic structural derangements can happen. I'm giving you the dangerous aspect of the life as well as the basic fundamental aspect of the life. So now, Hahnemann, using the started using the carbon with the principal three carbons, that is carboenamylase, carbon-base, and vegetabilis, and the graphite. He derived carboenamylase from the animal kingdom, carbovegetabilis from the vegetable kingdom, and graphites was artificial product found principally lining the interior of large iron retorts. Carboenamylase is obtained principally from the bones, and it contains some phosphate of the lime. Carbonate contains some carbonate of the potash. What you see, Dr. Hahnemann's vision was to obtain the carbon from the animal kingdom, obtain the carbon from the vegetable kingdom, and obtain the carbon from the mineral kingdom, that the graphite is. So this basic concept and the imaginations of the carbon about the importance of the carbon led Dr. Hahnemann to start his journey of the medication. And so he initially took only these three carbons. Later on, many more carbons are added into our materia medica. All the carbonucleus substances have the some property in common. For instance, they all have the tendency to relieve putrescence or putrid discharges or putrid exhalants from the body and offensive source. So carbon, the common characters, common features, common symptoms that you can see from the carbon, it arises because of the one element, that is the carbon there. So they have the similar property but exhibited in a different form. And once we have the similarity, we can make a distinction, good distinction between the two medicines of the same group. So now, how many carbons are there? So there are about 200 carbon-related homeopathic remedies. I can name you some: carboenamylase, that is animal charcoal; carbovegetabilis, this is vegetable charcoal; carbolic acid, this is phenol carbolic acid; then carbohydrogenacetum, carbureted hydrogen; then carbonium oxygenatum, carbon oxide; carbonium sulfuratum, alcohol sulfuris, bisulfide of the carbon; calcarea carb, it is the calcium of the carbonate of the lime; Kali carb, carbonate of the potassium; lithium carb, carbonate of the lithium; and magnesia carb, carbonate of the magnesium. Natrum carb is the carbonate of the sodium, and baryta carb is the carbonate of the baryta. And the graphite is the black lead, it is plumbago also. And butyric acid, volatile acid obtained chiefly from the butter. Then chloroform, it is chloroform. Then picric acid, it is tritnophenol. Benzoic acid, and this is the benzoic acid. Then petroleum, crude rock oil, creosote, it is the beechwood creosote, and gluonine, that is the glycerin, oxygen, and the nitrogen. So you see how the carbon getting started entering into the homeopathic group of the medicines. So many carbons are there, but we are using some of them but we have to keep in mind all these carbons so that we can get a better understanding of the all. Now let us see some of the area where this a sphere of the action you can observe in the patients. All the carbon acts also on the carbon skin, producing excoriation of the skin and interior. So excoriations and skin is one of the area where itching and other things are observed, and it is available in all the carbons group of the medicine. Then it affects the gland, also causing enlargement and induration of the axillary and other lymphatic glands, even as in the cases of carbovegetabilis and carboenamelids. So it is there glands, and in each of the carbon group of the medicines you will see they have the affections on the glands also. Then it is cancerous enlargement and infiltrations. Carbon group of medicines are very much useful for the cancerous enlargement, like the benign forms that indicates the infiltrations of the division of the cells arising out of the changes. Then it affects our mucous membrane and produces catarrh of the nose, throat, and lungs, and also of the bowels. They tend to produce asphyxia. Then carbon has got the action on the veins, producing the varicose of the vein. These varicose veins are very essential for our understanding, because most of the time we think about some other medicines, but when you concentrate on them, you will find that most of them requires the carbon group of the medicines. Then carbon has the tendency to produce the flatulence. The flatus is offensive and has odor like that of the rotten eggs. And all carbon group of the medicines has got the smell, odor of the rotten. The flatus, it may be the perspirations, it may be the other any discharge. So the nature and the surroundings and the life, the carbon is there, and carbon is coming within the life, going outside the life, and this cycle is maintained. So now coming to the constitutions, what type of the persons are usually where you can see this carbon? They are usually overweight, like the calcareous carbonate and a carbonate of the calcium, that is the carbonate, lime carbonate. All the carbon group remedies can be subordinated with reservation to the carbo-nitrogenous constitutions. The vulnerable constitutions, the carbo-nitrogenous constitutions, is basically represented by the carbon group of the remedy. Their complaints are aggravated by cold, and thermally they are very chilly patients. They show depressed gas exchange and increased terminative process. Then it is so we can say that constitution represents the carbo-nitrogenous constitution. Reservation is there, and then depressed gas exchange and increased terminative process, overweight and chilly. They are the basic factor for the constitution type factor of the carbon. Then elements from causations. Causations are because of the loss of the vital fluid. In most of the carbon, you will find almost all, but loss of the vital fluid, emotional stress, mental or physical stress, overlifting, overwork, exertion, sprains and strains, exercise, overheating, sexual excesses, cold air, open air, by warmth in general, and wrapping up, hot drinks, and by the rest. So these are the causative, some of the causative factors which have been associated with the carbon groups. Now they have the mathematic background. They are called basically the Robert theory of the soric or deficiency. This carbon is related. All carbon group of the remedies are predominantly anti-soric in nature as per the Robert theory of soric or deficiency, which states that any deficiency of constructive element which has atomic weight below 52, either due to the inability to assimilate or non-availability, leads to the soric trend or susceptibility. Very important guidelines about selection of the medicines on the soric understanding. The soric standing, the below atomic weight below 52, constructive element, that all those elements which has got the atomic weight below 52, they are the soric or the deficiency factors for that. Then now coming to the pathophysiological actions with the mind. Mind are slowed down. They have the mental sluggishness. The mental activity is called marked sluggishness, which is the characteristics of the carbon group. Everything is snail movement, actions, body, physical actions, mental actions. They have got the mentally, we say the mentally retardations or obstructions of the mental activity is very important for the carbon groups. The carbophage, carboanomaly, and the graphitis, it is well marked the slowness of their life. So carbon brings the slowness of your mind and it slows down your activity when it is in the deficient states. Carbon is slow to think, stupid, lazy, and stagnations of the thoughts, and mentally dull, slow in understanding, without idiocy, and slow grasping power. Then lymphatic glandular systems, it causes swelling and induration of the glands and may stimulate cancerous enlargement and infiltrations. The glands become hard and sore with indurated surrounding tissue and may be paralyzed and infiltrated. There may be congestions with or without suppurations. There may be sluggish indurated ulcers, lymphatic secretions become fetid or the offensive. So right from the swelling of the gland and infiltrations, that some discharges coming out, the mucus and the getting suppuration and formation of the ulcer, it leads to the become the offensive. So this is the journey of this lymphatic glandular system provides you a journey of the transformation going on with the carbon presence in our life. Then venous circulation system, very much important for the carbon group, because venous circulation is paralyzed, it causes a paralysis. So there is a retarded flow of the blood in the veins. So with this paralysis and slowness, veins become lazy, relaxed, and paralyzed. And with this, what you see, the obstructions is there, enlargement will be there, dilations will be there, stasis of the blood, and this varicose vein is increased producing varicose veins, which ultimately is responsible for the formations of the ulcer. So how the ulcer gets started? There must be the stagnation, there must be the rotting process, and all rotting process leads into the ultimate degenerative states of the ulcer. So venous congestions, blue cyanoid conditions with too much sweat and phlebitis. The venous bleeding from any origin having non-coagulable bloods. And carbon also have direct action on vascular system, producing insufficient or feeble circulations and stagnations of blood in lungs, hypoventilations, cardiac asthma, and compressible thready rapid pulse. Hypostatic pneumonia, much rattling in chest, and cyanide conditions. Then it has got the effects on the gastrointestinal tract. Its action especially on mucous membrane of digestive tract, producing catarrhal conditions, flatulence, distension of abdomen, foul eructations, inactivity of the bowel, and constipation. Carbon is full of gastric signs and symptoms along with the heartburn. Then increased formative capacity of gastric juice leading to multiple gastric ulceration, gastralgia, where carbohydrate has the fastest fermentation. In carbon sluggish liver, where non-starchy food also ferments, vomiting tract. Then female genital organ is also great with the carbon. In female genital organ, it causes atonicity. Muscles are tired and relaxed with putrid and offensive discharges. Menstruations are delayed. Discharges is black, acrid, corrosive, and offensive. Profuse licoria, sterility with the licoria. And intense itching, eczema of the labia, inner part of the thigh, cervicitis, and ulcerations of tract, no desire for the quiescence. So the carbon plays important role on the menstrual system, ranging from the deranged or dysmenorrhea to the sterility, and the products production offensive profuse licoria. All these aspects are very much important for all the carbons. Then skin is also well marked symptoms are there. All carbon shows a special affinity towards the skin, producing excoriation and erythema with from friction or rubbing. Skin unhealthy, brittle, doesn't retain stitchy, with eczematous eruptions and intrigue. Tendency to multiple boils, carbuncles, and deep-seated ulcers, multiple ulcer in eczematous area with crust formation. Septic state after eczema, speech resembling septic state of the nosodes. Then the skin are very itchy, prickly heat of the bed, sore by the worse by the eczema and scaly eruptions. So there are the psoriasis, ringworm, black discoloration of the skin, and loss of hair over the skin and the dandruff. All these phenomena you can see within the on the tactile aspects of the skin. So carbonous personality are either very stiff, hard working, who know what they want and just get on with it, or the other end very unstable, who get upset by every little incident. So this is the polarity of the carbon personality. They either are very active or they are lazy. It is ranging activity and laziness. So they are active, they are hard working, but they may also get tired. So this area and patient medicines are to distribute the medicines belonging to this group of medicines. The carbon remedy shows the main characteristic, giving meaning and mental aspects. What is the life? What is the purpose of the giving? And what is the purpose of giving? To understand, by giving they can get the better satisfaction. So carbon are the giver. They give. They contribute to the society. This is very important, and this is the only value that the carbon have got. They feel the abundance of the life is there. They have the abundance of the happiness. And why they are happy? Because of this laziness and all those things. Because of that, or simply because that they are here to give you the life. They are here to give to the society, to entire surrounding. So they are the giver. The carbonic type of the constitution is characterized by sober and clear gestures, stiff gait because of closeness of articulatory ligaments. So they have the personality seems to be very sober and clear, very obedient and very routine oriented and disciplined factor that you can see within the carbon. The main feature is meaning the values and they give their life is much more important to them. They know what they intend to do and what is the aim and the purpose. So the people who are very aware what they have to do in their life, and if they have the ambitions, great ambitions, they will strive for that, they will live for that. And this giving and striving depends on their value for the thing of giving the things. They want to sacrifice, they want to give something, they want to contribute something for this mother planets. So the aspect is very important personality features for the carbon. Then have the two area I just spoke, the robust and the intelligent persons. Then there are also the declined mentality and physically, mentally and physically they are declined, become low. And then rigid, straight, is between the two things, they are stable, they are rigid, and they are always straight, stand straight from this universe. Sluggishness is another important area where you can see the car. Why I am trying to put you all these aspects is that you can, when you think about any medicines from the carbon, you should contribute, we should learn, get knowing about these aspects because they are the basic area where these carbons are observed. Carbon slows down the mental activity and causes mass sluggishness. Patient is slow to think, stupid, lazy, and there occurs stagnations of thoughts with slow or grasping power. The patient will tell you, doctor, I'm not feeling well, I'm not able to think properly, I'm not able to decide properly. And they seems to be in a confused state because of the sluggishness. They don't want to work. One side we say they are very hard working. They are very robust personality. They can plunge into the action. But the other faces of the carbon is that they are sluggish, retarded, and inhabit and stupid and lazy. Then they are hardworking also. This is just the opposite of the sluggishness. So they are hardworking, they have the social standing and are quite unselfish. They do not believe in the materialism and they try to find a meaning for their existence through their work. I can give something, I can do something for the society and the people will know of that. And my value for the life is only to contribute. And this is the basic idea that we are being all taught from the childhood. We have understood that once we are here, life is an opportunity, one time opportunity. And if you want to become popular, if you want to survive forever, you just and get imprinted into the history, you have to only do and act and demonstrate to the society that you are worthy. You are worthy. So they are very hard persons and unselfish type of the working is there. This is and those people who are unselfish, not selfish, they have got the better social standing and they are become the leader of the society and they can have a better understanding for the society. Then they are also spiritual. And this giving attitude, it comes from the spirituality. They give more importance to the spiritual aspect, the divinity of the life. Carbon always tries to find father figures or the authority. They are the teachers, they are the priests, they are the leader of the society, and they are the philosophers. The great philosophers, the great teachers, the great scientists, they all have got the spiritual background. What we think about the Einstein, he was a very spiritual man. What we think about the Hahnemann, he was also very spiritual in nature. And because of this spirituality, they have got the idea of having having the hard working. Hard working is not only the mental, not only the physical, but it is also the philosophical and the mental. This aspect of understanding of the hard working and this spirituality, they combine together to give you a better meaning for the life. Then they are very obedient. They want for obedience to act and to discipline is very important for us. And for them, your life should be streamlined flow of the everything. Everywhere there must be the obedience. And people should be abiding by them. They themselves abide by the law. They already want to abide by the law. Better understood among the society. They have got so many ideas, so many things to do, and so many burdens they have got in their life because of the hard work with the physical ability and the mental, yes, the mental in the carbon group, a state of mental confusion and irritability. It is a follow. I have to earn money, I have to save money, I have to bring up my child, I have to do the service for the society. They take our responsibility, and with all so many things to do together, many ideas, many appointments, many, it is difficult to manage. And with this difficulty is expressed as a mental confusion. Then meaning and stating value. They give importance, due respect. A smaller, they take care for a smaller, so they are very, very careful persons. Care and worries are the dominating factors because they state value, give importance to every thing in the society. Characteristic feature is the meaning and stating values. They have got a fixed idea. They cannot go beyond that. They cannot change their mind for not giving the value. Not being the spiritual, they cannot get changed. They have till they will live spiritual. They have to give. They will always keep giving. So there are certain mind has either fixed ideas or the mind is continuously changing. This is the polarity created by the two different way this problem gets arising into the carbon groups. Extreme end in their life. They can do anything, plunge into the actions without saying what is the consequence. They don't care for the consequence, so they are daring, and we usually call them the daredevil persons. Friends, they have got the self-respect, and give the respect also. They want the respect, and they give the respect. So all carbons have the value of self-worth, dignity, and self-respect. Self-respect means that I give. People should give value to me, and why the people will give you the value? Because you also give the respect to the other. So it is give and take process. So this carbon group of the medicines, they are giver and taker. He serves best who he earns more who gives best. So, and because of this standing, he is loved by the society. He has got, and he is being praised by the society, and this made him a man of the dignity with the self-respect. They are very aristocratic type of the persons. You see these photographs just representing how much they are careful about their presentations. They are people who are aristocratic. They believe they have the quality of being excellent, worth, and honorable. The highest ego, I am myself, and they give importance to that, and for that they have great value for their life. So these are the basic understanding that you can get from the carbon group of the medicine. At the time, they are sign is timidity there. Though they have got the self-worth, they quietly, easily to take the form of the sinus. So sinus, another important area you can observe in all these terms. Then aesthetically mannered and nobility. See, everything is in a manner, everything is a noble. So you can see they treat themselves like a prince, and they treat everyone like a prince. They are timid and easily frightened. These type of people they are very shyness and they are easily frightened. Then they have got also, it is observed among the lack of confidence, tendency to shrink back from the danger. Something will happen. That's why they don't have the content. They may not undertake any. They are hardworking. They can work, but at the same time, you can in some aspect of the life you can see that they are shrinking. Then burning is typical. Burning is typical. Everywhere it is burning, all over the body, and also in the palm, soul, burning pains of the body. Everywhere the burning is dominating in the carbons group. Then pain and smarting are burning. What type of the pain? It is smarting, pricking, and then burning. Pain are smarting, burning in character. Burning as smoke flushes of heat in vortex behind the sternum. Then destructive properties. Burning shows the destructive properties of the carbon. You have carbon is well known to burn. The charcoal is well known, and this burning is also life, and it also destroying your life. Energy stored in the body is destroyed, which leads to the lack of muscles and the strength. Why? Because this has got the two phenomena arising in the patient for the same medicine can be from the both end side of the aspect of the life. Then every discharges are offensive. All the carbons are very offensive and putrid discharge. They are putrid emanations from the body and offensive stool, urine, sweat, menses are very offensive. Then depressed gas exchange. There is a depressed gas exchange and increased fermentative process due to which there are the putrid. You see the flatus are very offensive. The body smells are very offensive because the gaseous exchange and the process, the assimilation process are affected, and blood plasma, oxygen dissolved plasma, and fused basement membranes, carbon dissolved plasma, they all contribute toward getting stagnations of the life and the productions of the carbon dioxide. Then carbo group have got the absorptive property. It purifies the atmospheric substance that are undergoing the decomposition. We always used to say that carbon group of medicines are like a cleaner also. They make the things rotten and get destroyed from from the place. But everything has to decay, and they Then ulcer and heredity, we have already explained. The stagnations of the blood is there, no motions, flowing in their blood surface, and they gradually led into the stop into the varicosity of the bone, and they are produce varicosity and ulceration. There is no rapid change or repair of these ulcers. It is difficult to get repair. Then capillary circulation engorgement is also very important. Dilations due to the blood and varicosity is increased, producing very veins which forms the ulcer. Then venous congestions are important in carbon group. Phlebitis, venous bleeding has non-negligible lymphatic secretions are faded or the offensive. Abscesses are there, which abscesses they are very slow, indurated abscesses are there. So the bacteria, and because the slowness, their tendency to develop and tendency to mature and tendency to suppurate are very slow, and that's why the bacteria and the other elements get inside the ulcer, and it start discharging and making a putrid discharge, offensive discharge from there. So general modalities of this group are they are aggravated by music. Full moon is very important for the carbon group. Conditions get aggravated during the full moon. Then evening hours are for the carbon group, especially the 7 p.m. night, cold and draft of cold, damp weather, light, during the menses, warmth of the bed, hot drinks, getting feet wet, and empty swallowing, fatty food, motion exertions, climbing stairs, scratching, riding in carriage, and sprains. You can see all these aggravating factors in almost every carbon group of the medicine, and they are better by open air. See, the carbon has got great affinity for the oxygen, and they easily combine with the oxygen. And first preference for the carbon is to get united with the all its four valency with the oxygen. That's why they are always feeling better in the open air and walking after eating, touch, rest, and the eat. These are the ameliorating factors for the carbon. The thermal, all patients of the carbon groups are chilly, and patients are extremely sensitive to the cold air. All carbon groups are chilly patients. They are extremely sensitive to the cold air. Then carbon feeling is forsaken, deserted, and discarded. We used to discard the carbon. After the discarding this, the main theme of all carbonates, whether it is natrum carb, sodium, potassium carbonate, calcaria, kali carb, whatever it may be, there is no reactions and situations. This forsaken feeling, discarded feeling is very important for this because of the carbonate. Wherever you see the carbonate bond, you can think about this carbon. The carbon seems to depend on its partner to provide its specific context. Carbon is about the vital reactions, and that we see in the carbon, the state of lacking of vital reaction and their suddenly exaggerated hypervital reactions. I think that both of these are common coming out of the feeling of being discarded. Carbon is also known as the organic remedy. It is estimated as 5% of all cases need carbon remedy, and it is therefore a very important group. So main theme, you have the confusion of the mind, weakness, loss, disoriented, downward thinking tendency in gestures, sensation, and linguistic, sudden onset, tied with the anesthetic which takes effect in seconds, isolation and stress, money, vitality, identity, infancy, and birth. These are the main theme for the carbon. Some other themes are the fire and explosion. They can be expected with nitrogen and gluonine, etc. Host, hurry, shock, euphoria, lasciviousness, constrictions, tight clothing, suffocations, childishness, aggressions, and the past nostalgia and the homesickness. So common disorder in the carbon that you can see, it is the environmental factors, maybe illness may be there. Head and neck problem are very common among the carbon. Lethargy, weakness, sensitive to the sun. All the carbons are sensitive to the sun. Contraction, constriction of head, eye, especially of the retina, and cardiac symptoms, arrhythmia, palpitations, bradycardia, skin, cracks, and the fissure. And other characteristic symptoms include the sensitivity to the very sensitive to the heat and cold. Although they are very cold patients, yet they are sensitive to heat at some time. The part of the body may be, the general feeling may be worse by the cold, but some part of the body get better by the heat. So this is the duality symptom, the sensitivity of the head to the heat of the sun, a desire for a smoked food. So friends, you will die, but the carbon will not. Carbon will not. It was there, it will be there, and it is there. Its carrier does not end with you. It will return to the soil, and there is a plant may take up again in time, sending it once more on a cycle of the planet and the animal. So carbon gets reborn every time. Reborn every time. Message with us. So carbon cycling keeps on going on this planet, and we also are a part of this cycle, going and coming into this on this planet. So carbon and the global changing. So now we see, as in so many facets of Earth's evolution, the closer we look and the more data we collect, the more complicated and fascinating. The life began with the simplicity, now moving toward the complexity, and that is because of the changing pattern of the cycles of the carbon. So we are stardust, billion-year-old carbon. What we are, our life, it is only the carbon. How much is your age? Your age is billions year old, not 1 year, 50 years. Your life is not limited within 60, 100 years, but it is billion years. So we are the stardust. So thank you. And I hope I have tried to explain something about the basic idea, and my purpose is still some of the themes about the carbon, so that it may help you while you are selecting among the carbon. We have to differentiate between the carbo-base and the carbo-enamate and the graphite. They all have the carbon and all the carbonate. But this is become more possible when you have a thematic understanding of the medicines. So thank you, friends. And with this, I come to the close of this session. And if you have any questions to me, you can ask me on my email ID, that is risdth@gmail.com, or on my WhatsApp number 943102062. So thank you. Mm, I don't see any questions here on the chat box. Only good evening and good afternoon messages are there. So friends, I have come close to the session, and now we are closing the this presentations now. Thank you.